Hi, everybody. It's from the deathbed, Linda. Night of the Living Dead, Linda. I'm here with Mel for our Monday. My voice is a little crackly, probably from the intubation.
From the intubation.
And to those of you who did not get the news, the surgeon, I think I was doing a show when the surgeon called me. No cancer. No cancer.
Yay.
And surgery went real well, 3.5 hours. The fat they took out of my belly, a nice syringe full, which they took first. Then they did the replacement. They didn't use a stick of it in my breast. He said you didn't need it. I'd gone to a little smaller size, so they didn't need to fill it. And
I just thought of something smart ass, but I won't say.
I ended up wasting a whole syringe full, but I was glad he took it anyway. But I'll tell you what, when I woke up from surgery, actually the pain I felt was where they put that cannula in to suck out fat.
That's painful. That's really painful.
And I was actually, I could feel that. But I was high as a kite. I mean, happy high. Like,
yeah.
The store's open at midnight, and I thought maybe I'd go get. So I ran like that for a couple of days, and I went to lunch with my son, took him back home on Saturday because I was feeling so good. By the time I got home, I was tired.
I've
been tired these past 2 days.
I asked him if I could bring some home with me.
Bring some what?
Some of the anesthesia. I mean, my mood was like really up for like.
My mood was just so, and I woke up wide awake.
Oh yeah, me too.
Wide awake. So that's something with the anesthetic then.
I woke up and they said, you're on the other side. I go, of what? I go, well, you put me back to sleep. And they go, you want to go back to sleep? And I said, I was dreaming. And they go, what were you dreaming of? I said, Africa. And they all started laughing. I go, no, I was dreaming.
Yeah. So I was dreaming when I woke up. So you must go into the REM state. They must have reversed something. You go into the REM state and then they wake your happy butt up.
Well, I guess my question was, did I think I was dreaming or was I really?
Oh, I was dreaming.
So was I. It was great. I wanted to go back to sleep.
I was very happy in the dream.
So
yeah. So I was very surprised and I couldn't wait to go home. And they said I could go home. I was so scared I was going to have to stay the night. No, you can go. Do you know I have not bled? But that pain by the time I got home in my belly was gone. But Saturday, when I put on my street clothes to go take my son, my belly is like it's 8 months pregnant. It's swollen.
I think sometimes there can be a little fluid buildup from the surgery. That's why I asked if they put in drains.
No drains.
But it will go down.
Okay, because, I'm not passing gas, which you would think that is, but I'm peeing like a horse on a flat rock. But I gotta pee all the time. But besides that, I'm good. No dizziness when I get up. In fact, I always had a little bit of dizziness, from up and down. None.
After my surgery, I had that. I'd stand up and I'd want to pass out because it's orthostatic hypotension, meaning your blood pressure goes too low. But it's rectified now. But that's common with me after surgery. So I'm glad that didn't happen to you.
No, it didn't happen. In fact, I was having that a lot and then it stopped.
Good. So
we got you guys sent a lot of questions.
Yeah.
We're so excited. As you know, Trump is in New York as we speak, talking trash. He talked about wanting to be electrocuted rather than to be eaten by a shark. He was weird. He talked about Obama, even said that he built more for the fence. Obama's report showed he built more fence at the border than any other president. Obama.
No. I think he's taking too much Adderall. That's what I think.
I think he's really getting ready to lose his mind.
I think there's some medication that he's taking or something he's abusing, and it's really making him more paranoid. But this brings up a good question, and this is a Mel question, but I'm sure.
Wait, did I give you permission to do a question?
Oh, I'm sorry. Do I have the Queen's permission to ask a question?
Yes.
Thank you, Your Majesty. I love it. There you go.
Okay.
Queen
You may proceed.
I may proceed. Thank you, Your Majesty. You can dub me a knight right now. Okay. But today's fraud trial is civil. But a lot of people want to know, a lot of times if you lose a civil case, which I feel Trump will lose the civil case, will they pass it over then for criminal? And I see as a result of this civil case, he is going to be charged criminally.
I see the IRS on him like flies, so you know what?
Absolutely.
The IRS, it sounds like the big mob bosses. That's what's really going to take him down.
But I see him charged criminally in New York as well.
You know, they showed that. Did you see the video of inside the courthouse?
No.
Oh, they showed Letitia James, very serious looking. They showed Trump with this mean look. You know how he tries to give that mean look on his face because he's not happy. And then they showed the judge. It's the first time I've seen the judge. Kind of a slender, gray-haired man with glasses. He sees the camera on him. Guess what he did? He took off his glasses and he smiled to the camera. And he went like this. Oh my God, how much you want to bet? The far right is going crazy. How much you want to bet? Trump was furious.
So he smiled at the camera. Trump was like,
I've never seen a judge do something like that, though.
good for the judge.
Good for the judge.
It's not going to get Trump a change. It's not going to get Donald Trump a change of venue. I can tell you that right now.
No.
It's not going to happen.
So what was the question?
My question was, here again, you know, I feel he's going to be found guilty in the civil case. But then will they refer it over to New York State for prosecution on criminal? That was my question.
Yes, I'm going to just to take a look, see.
My guides have told me yes. Because I kept seeing him indicted criminally in New York.
Years ago, when I first started my channel, I told everybody he was going to lose all his places, and especially in New York. Scotland is on him right now, too. They want to take that Scottish.
And they will. And here in Chicago, I've been saying the name on Trump Tower is going to come down. And I hope they just take off the T and put up a rump. But I've been saying for a long time as well that like Humpty Dumpty, his empire is going to crumble. So, and
yeah,
you've been saying all along.
He's so funny because he's got a lot of swords, my friend. He's busy blaming everybody but himself. Well, he was going along just lying and cheating and acting like he was rich, and he never was rich. Mm-hmm. He'll try to make a compromise, you guys. He's going to try to make a compromise. He's going to end up having to sell his stuff and head out, pack his bags and head out.
Well, New York, they dissolved all the corporations and put them under receivership.
Can you believe it?
And that's exactly what's going to happen to Mar-a-Lago. That's going to happen to everything. And it's going to come out. My guides tell me, I intuit, I predict, that he didn't have as much money as he was pretending to have.
Yeah. Oh, we know this. We've been knowing this for a while.
Been knowing it for a long time. But
I think Cohen told us this.
Absolutely. But it still will be made public. I mean, it'll be verified publicly.
Yeah. So. Okay. So many people are congratulating on the excellent okay. Wow. Lisa just wrote, I live in Eureka, about 70 miles south of the Oregon-California border. Today, Saturday, we had 4 earthquakes, 3.7 to 4.9. 2 close to the city and 2 offshore to the south. Are these it, or are they precursors to a much bigger one? Thank you so much. You know, I kept seeing Eureka with an earthquake. What is it? This?
I'm saying if it's a precursor to a larger quake, but not like a 9 or a 10. I don't know.
No, it's not going to be.
But maybe like Melmian. I'm sorry. More like a. Can I just pause this for a second?
Sure. Hold on.
All right, go ahead. The dog's the doorbell.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry, go ahead. Thank you for pausing. I just had to check and see what's going on.
Well, we were asking about the earthquake.
Oh, I see it maybe like a 6 or something coming. So I think these might be precursors to a larger quake, but I don't, to use your terminology, I don't see it as being Armageddon, no.
Right, I saw 7.2, so it's significant, but
So,
I don't know, but it's going up the coast, so it couldn't even be out in the water,
right. So that's what I intuit. So there we go.
Okay, now you do a question.
Okay, give me a second. Okay. Ron Brock. Hi, Ron. After the budget debacle in the House, yeah, go figure. They knew they couldn't shut the government down. Making them look bad, though, the MAGAs. After the budget debacle in the House, funding for Ukraine assistance got left out. Will funding for Ukraine be passed soon? He says, thank you both for all you do for us.
Absolutely, yes. In fact, I think they already got something going on.
We do. Biden's got working on something.
Because what's his name? Gates is all acting out, saying that he knows they have something behind closed doors that McCarthy's working on. They demand, they need to know. By the way, I don't see McCarthy getting rid of Kevin. I mean, get Matt Gaetz getting rid of Kevin.
I see Matt Gaetz being expelled at some point.
But I don't see enough votes. I don't see the Democrats helping them.
No, they won't.
I see that he gets by on the hair with his chinny chin chin. Marjorie Taylor Greene just announced that she wasn't going to vote to get rid of McCarthy. And I told everybody before, McCarthy let her carte blanche. He let her sort of act like she was. That's why she doesn't want him to go, because he gives her a lot of power.
Well, I also think that the Dems know that if they vote to put somebody else in there, what if they get one of those MAGA crazy ultra right wingers to be Speaker of the House, and that wouldn't be cool either.
But there wouldn't be enough votes to put one of those MAGA crazy.
No. Well,
there's only 9 people.
There wouldn't be. You're right. But
what was the question again?
The question was about funding for Ukraine because it got left out, but will it be passed soon?
They say NATO is very nervous about this. They don't like this. It's a struggle, but it's going to be okay, you guys. We're going to win.
I saw pentacles for Ukraine, like the 5 of Pentacles, which
I've got the 6 of Pentacles doling out the money.
So they're not going to be out in the cold, and you're right, because I felt the same thing behind closed doors. President Biden is working on ways to get money to Ukraine. So at some point, and all those people, the MAGAs, in the beginning, yeah, we got to fund Ukraine, and now they don't want it. Well, because a bunch of them like Putin, that's why.
Yeah, but, and Trump doesn't want it.
But I see, right, he's controlling the MAGAs, but I still see funding coming through for them. Yes, I do.
Okay, that's good.
All right.
Okay, so my question. John Fetterman, this is from Roseanne. John Fetterman appears to be doing much better. What exactly is the status of his health?
I think, well, I can't diagnose, but actually I saw psychically, I keep seeing a lot of stability coming for his health, a lot of balance and harmony coming for his health. So, I don't see anything major or catastrophic more for him with Fetterman. I don't know how you feel about it, but that's what I see.
I'm not feeling bad at all. He's still not quite 100% though. Look at him. He's still struggling.
I think that's probably means that, he's still having some neurological deficits from the stroke, but I see him like at least 90 to 95% back to normal.
Yeah, he's picking up the pieces. He's moving forward. He's managing to keep a homeostasis, if you know what I mean. Right. He's following the doctor's orders. He's doing good. But let me tell you, he don't mind saying what he feels.
Well, I think he was like that before the stroke, right?
Oh, it just says on the news that the Trump fraud case is on lunch. That means the president's trains or whatever they are, his limousines, they're probably going through McDonald's as we speak.
I love it.
Okay, so what's your question?
Okay. Let's see. Deb Marsh says, we've answered this, but I'm going to ask it again. Will Dems help McCarthy keep his job as Speaker of the House?
No. At first, I thought they would. I kept seeing Dems stepping in, but what they did is they stepped in and helped pass that.
Correct.
Which infuriated Trump and Matt Gaetz.
Well, I see Matt Gaetz ousted. And Marjorie Taylor Greene warned against it, but I see him expelled.
He said she wouldn't vote for McCarthy to go down.
Well, she won't, but I still see him expelled.
McCarthy?
No, I'm sorry, Matt Gaetz.
Yeah, Matt Gaetz. Yeah, he. You know what I heard is that nobody likes him.
No, I see well, I don't know about a replacement for McCarthy just yet, but
I don't see McCarthy long term.
I don't either. I never did.
You know what'll happen is we're going to have that 2024 and those people are going out.
Exactly.
And a lot of things will change.
He's going to be gone. And Michael Moore said that he thought that, like before 2020 or maybe during 2024, that there would be even McCarthy will be gone and a Democrat would be Speaker.
Which will be our guy.
Hakeem Jeffries.
May I also point out that Justice Thomas recused himself from the Eastman.
Yes, I've got that in my notes. That SCOTUS refuses Trump's email case and Thomas recuses himself because he knows because psychically, my guides are showing me Thomas knows that he's in deep doo-doo. And I was
feeling too.
And they're investigating that money and all those favors that those wealthy people did for him. And those laws got passed. Not laws, but those cases won by the wealthy people that gave him all that fancy stuff. I see him under investigation and very well could lead to indictment.
Wow.
But
I don't see him lasting long because I don't think his health will last.
I don't think he'll last long enough to go to jail, but I'll tell you who else is going to be in deep doo-doo is his wife.
Oh, yeah.
Huge.
Yeah. And I see it might be a year or 2 years. I do see Kavanaugh going down too.
Absolutely. Yes. So anyway.
The question is Gavin Newsom did replace Dianne Feinstein.
Yes, with LaFonza Butler.
Yeah, and she's a Black liberal and lesbian. And I saw her face and I had a good feeling about her.
I didn't know she was lesbian.
Yeah.
But I thought about Dianne Feinstein. And I don't know if it was her spirit or my guides came to me and said that when she crossed over, she directed Newsom to put LaFonza Butler in that spot. So Feinstein's very happy about it because she knew that she'd be a fighter for LGBTQ rights, for minorities, and all the stuff that Feinstein stood for. Well,
do you think Newsom and Feinstein before she died had a little conversation?
The answer she would pick. When you said that, I got cold chills and my psychic light bulb went off and I heard, yes, absolutely. Okay. And I think she'll win because I think the spot's only open for a year or so. I think she'll win
she'll run against Adam Schiff and Barbara and Katie.
I still think she's going to win it.
You think so?
Yep.
She could beat Adam Schiff.
She's dynamic. She doesn't hold back. And she's going to do a lot of good things in the Senate for the amount, until when was Feinstein's term up? I think in another year.
It's in 24 with the rest. The voting is November of 24.
There you go.
So it'll end in 25.
Right. So, a lot can happen between now and then, but she's going to do a great job.
Let's just do a quick throw on her, you guys.
Yeah, I was excited about
Could
it.
she possibly win permanent seat as a senator of California? I saw her face, and her face was sweet, you know. I like Adam Schiff, but he's sort of flatline. And I like Barbara Boxer. But she's not liked as well, you know.
I still feel like it's going to be, I could be wrong, LaFonza Butler, because, you know, I don't have any cards with me, but in my head, I saw the Sun, which is one of the best cards in the deck.
What, the Sun?
Sun.
Here comes the sun.
And then the Wheel of Fortune, which could be inertia, but boy, you know, like when a car is spinning its wheels, but when it takes off, it skyrockets. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. Oops. Okay, go ahead. I forgot to silence.
Oh, sorry, I dropped a card.
Well, what drops on the floor comes to the door.
Okay. Uh-oh.
But
I don't think she'll win.
You don't think so?
I was hoping she would.
Well, okay.
It feels like California doesn't vote for her. According to this, hold on. She's a powerful woman, and you know, they're still afraid of powerful women. Hold on one second.
I think she's going to beat Adam Schiff. And Newsom's going to throw all of his weight behind her too.
You think so?
Yep.
I don't know. I'll read it as we get closer.
Well, here's where we agree to disagree, but that's okay.
Yeah.
But I see her in longer than a year. I could be wrong, but anyway. But you're right. They did talk.
Well, she will be in longer than a year.
They did talk. No, I'm talking like a full Senate term, though. I see her.
Oh, okay.
But they did talk. You're right. That when you said that behind closed doors when Feinstein was ill about replacement, and I think he had talked to her about it, and she agreed to do it. So
you know, when I looked at her, I had a real good feeling about her. So
me too.
It's interesting. The card said no, but that's the cards. So, okay. What other question you got?
Okay. Kimono Island Annie. I like that. She says, happy day to the dynamic duo. Hope you're both feeling good. Yes. Is Melania going to stand by her husband or hightail it to Europe? Now that New York is about to erase the Trumps from history. Well, they don't want to erase them from history. They'll add to history that they'll go down as like corrupt. I think Melania is gonna she'll get her settlement at some point and split.
I see her leaving, definitely.
So do I.
Because she can't stay in New York. That's all going away.
Well, I don't know how old Barron is, but to take him out of the country, she would still need Donald's permission. So
no, well, he's almost 18.
And when he's 18, that's a different story.
Yeah.
But anyway, she's not saying too much, Melania, so she's keeping quiet for a reason, my guides say.
Well, according to Trump at his thing yesterday, he said, Melania told me I'm looking real bad on camera now. And I think it's the lighting, he said.
Oh, yeah. Okay, right. Trust me, she's already talked to lawyers behind the scenes, and she's worked out a deal for herself. That's what my guides are telling me. So
Cindy asked a question. She said, happy healing to you both. Will a Democrat win the Pennsylvania Supreme Court seat? I feel yes.
I hear a yes to that. Good. Okay. KIMG Kim G says, hello, Linda and Auntie Mel. Do you have any hits on the upcoming session of the Supreme Court? I don't know what I don't know what arguments they're hearing.
Yeah, this is the one that Thomas recused himself.
They refused. Yeah, they refused.
And they refused Eastman's request.
Correct. That's for the email case. Yes, they refused it. So that sets the stage for them to refuse other things that Trump might bring to the Supreme Court. Even those justices he appointed, I think they're trying to pull away from Trump because they don't want their hands to look dirty.
Right, right.
That's what I see. Okay, your turn.
So Colleen said, I'm terrified that someone is going to get killed over Trump's rhetoric. God forbid. Should that happen, will at least one of the judges throw his sorry back end in jail? I know he'll get blamed for anything.
Well, I still see gag orders coming out. He's not, more gag orders. So I think in Georgia, that lawyer that he hired, that new lawyer, is really, as much as I don't like Trump, the lawyer is really, really good criminal defense lawyer, actually. The one he just hired. Oh yeah, the guy's really smart. So why do you think Trump said, I don't want to take it to the federal court? I don't want to do this? Because the lawyer he hired specializes in RICO in Alabama, and the guy is really good trial lawyer. And I think he told Trump, keep your mouth shut and do not ask for a change of venue to the federal court. Because in federal court, if you're found guilty, you have to serve 85% of that time. I don't know in Atlanta, if it's a state thing, he might be eligible for probation or parole or something. So so that's why Trump didn't want that case moved. I mean, that's why Trump came forward and finally said, no, let's keep it in Alabama, because that lawyer he hired down there. So,
right.
But anyway, all right. Is it your turn or mine?
Yours.
Okay. Our friend Diane, I never can pronounce her last name, Kaki, not Kaki. She comes to visit us in Sedona when we were there.
Yeah.
Hi, Linda and Mel, love you both. We love you too. Glad to hear Linda's having speedy recovery. Yay. There is a GOP movement afoot to expel Matt Gaetz.
Right.
His ethics investigation.
We were just talking about that.
That's right. Will this happen? I see yes.
Yeah.
Half of GOP would have to vote for it along with Dems. Kevin could use this as an excuse to get rid of his troublemaker. Or would he use this as an excuse?
Yes, yes.
Yes, absolutely.
I see Matt Gaetz going.
I do too. And I still see Matt Gaetz charged with some stuff, Linda. That hasn't ended either.
Right, right.
I see him charged criminally with stuff, Matt Gaetz.
Good. He needs to.
So that whole thing about, the minor stuff, that's not over yet. That's going to resurface. Remember, they were investigating him for being with a 17-year-old or something. That's going to resurface.
Well, it's under investigation now.
Well, there's more investigation coming. Yeah. So anyway.
So Jitterbug asked, will New York's AG Letitia James win the minimum $250 million lawsuit against the thug? Will the thug's family still be able to do business around the world? I
hear that Trump is going to Trump is going to lose that case.
Yeah, and I think at 250 plus.
Correct.
But he's going to lose everything. He is going down so hard. It's not, and Largo is going down too, because my guides told me 5-6 years ago when I first started this channel that Trump was going to lose everything.
When I first started mine and we first started talking, I kept seeing Humpty Dumpty falling and his whole empire imploding, and here we go.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's going to be able to do business in other states. A lot of them won't want him, and a lot of other countries won't want to deal with him, probably including Russia at some point. So
I see massive. He's just going to be screaming at the top of his lungs.
Well, what I see
wants this case over by December. He gave a date. It's like December 22nd. Nice little Christmas present.
Yeah, right. But what I see going is he's funneling money under the table to try to hide it. And they're going to find that out too.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So
I love it. Okay, your turn.
all right. We talked about that this morning before our show. Nancy D. Will RFK take votes from Biden? He's a train wreck, and he's a train wreck. I'm from Massachusetts, and his little entourage used to show up at Cape Cod night spots and try to cause chaos and ruin everyone's fun. She said he hasn't changed much.
He's awful. The guy for Vanity Fair that did a piece on him spent a month or something with him at Martha's Vineyard. He said it was a horrible experience. He's a whack job.
I don't think he'll take votes away from Biden. I think it's going to come out how cray-cray he
Well,
is.
right now, he's not taking votes away from Biden, running as an alleged Democrat. It's the right wing that he's taking. He even said, I'll be taking votes away from Trump. That's what he said.
Well, he almost seems like, a Republican just pretending or wrapped in a Democrat's outer skin, I think it'll come through how cray-cray he is. And I don't think it's going to hurt Biden. And actually, you texted me, Biden's poll numbers are way up.
Yeah, they're going up. Yeah. And don't start looking until May, June, you guys.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so am I next? Dogs 2 said, the sanctuary city of Chicago, we are being inundated with busloads of migrants seeking asylum.
That is true, we are.
I see Biden really doing something about this.
Because Chicago's a safe city. So what's going on is Abbott and DeSantis from Florida are putting these people on buses, sending them to New York, Chicago, and all of that. And why? Because Chicago's a sanctuary city, and Chicago is Democrat. It has been for years, and it's going to stay that way for years. So it's, DeSantis and Abbott's way of trying to cause problems for Chicago. They will not succeed. All right. And I see that the mayor here, the governor here, all working together with Biden to help with the immigration issue.
They're going to do something. I see Biden working on it right now. Some sort of game plan is coming up.
That's right. That's what I see.
To relieve the cities of having to deal with this.
That's correct.
Okay.
All right. That's my turn, huh?
Yeah.
Pearl Ruby said, hello, Mel and Linda. No one will address my concerns over Neuralinks. It was tested on 23 primates, 15 died, and the rest got brain infections or Alzheimer's. 4 weeks ago, the government said it was too dangerous for human trials, and now they have changed their minds. I want to know, in light of these dismal results, why the capitulation to humans. Thank you both.
What is he asking about?
I think it's something called Neuralinks, and I don't know exactly what it does, but it helps kind of rewire brain stuff for people who are paralyzed and things like that. Pearl, I don't know if they capitulated, but at some point, my feeling is they'll perfect it so that it will be safe to use on humans.
Okay.
It's going to take a while. That's what I see.
Seven Sisters Enterprise asked, will defunding the DOJ be successful? No. I even heard that the repubes couldn't defund DOJ. It's written in stone, because before Pelosi left, she made sure that the monies they agreed upon was in there like stone.
And defunding Ukraine won't be successful either.
No.
Medicare or Social Security or any of that.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, Paul Raines asked, will there be another circus in the House once the 45-day continuing resolution expires, or will the Republicans actually do their jobs and get a reasonable budget passed? Well, Paul, facetiously, there's they're going to try to hold the government hostage
I
again.
see that. I've been seeing that. I mean, yeah, we got by this time, but I kept seeing a little bit of a shutdown.
Well, I think the MAGAs don't realize it, but I think that a lot of the other Republicans in the House realize if there's a shutdown, it's going to knock them out of jobs.
It's going to knock them out of jobs.
And the other thing is, it really affects the travel industry. I'm going to tell you why. Because a lot of these tour companies take people to the national parks, and if there's a government shutdown, the national parks close.
Yeah.
And so that really affects the tourism business.
And the TSA and.
Correct. So, I mean, you wouldn't believe what it affects. And I think that a lot of the midline Republicans.
Well, let me tell you, they want to do wrong for this nation, but the outcome is the empress. Correct. So that we will oversee them by the power of the female, actually.
I think a lot of Republicans won't want it either, and will step up and say, we don't want this.
Yeah. But I kept seeing them trying to shut it. They want to because Trump wants it shut down.
Exactly. But you know what? There's a certain part of his anatomy that's going to be clipped. And I'm not talking about the north end.
So
you're up.
Go ahead.
No, it's your turn, right?
Is it my turn?
Yep.
Does Jack Smith, this is from Eleanor, does Jack Smith have the transcript testimony from interpreter when 45 met with Pooty and Helinsky?
He's got some of it. That's what I hear.
Yeah, but that's not what he's going to focus on. Yeah. He's focusing on the money Trump right now. He's focusing on the money Trump made by lying to people, saying that the voting was rigged.
And that's going to be fraud.
Can you imagine him up there at that courthouse talking about how everybody is against him? It's a fraud. It's everybody is in the pocket of somebody. 95 indictments, and he's everybody, judges, the people.
But he always accuses everybody else of the stuff he's done. So everything he's saying, everything he's projected, he's telling on himself because it's all stuff he's doing.
Yeah, that's true.
And there's only maybe a small handful of people buying that crap. None of us, the rest of us aren't buying it anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
So anyway, okay. Teresa said, oh, this is good. Cassidy Hutchinson said that Mark Meadows was burning documents. That's true.
Oh, I know. Wow.
Yes. What was he burning? Well, Jack Smith or the DOJ learned what he was burning. He was burning documents that would incriminate him.
Yeah.
And I think some people will come forward that saw some of those documents before they were burned and testify what was in them.
Yeah, but I don't see him getting hit on that at beyond a reasonable doubt.
Right, exactly.
But I'll tell you that this was so funny is he tried to cut down Cassidy, that everything she was saying was false and blah, blah, blah. She says, well, then he can come in and testify under oath that everything I said was false. He's welcome to come in and testify under oath because this guy won't testify for nobody because he's a liar.
I just wrote here, I did some automatic writing. I put Mark Meadows obstruction. So at some point they're going to charge him with obstruction of justice. I don't know if it's about the documents or other things, but it has to do with Cassidy Hutchinson, and he's going to be charged with obstruction.
Wow. Wow.
So that's what I picked up. All right. Your turn.
Okay. I thought I did with the Jack Smith one.
No, I just asked about burning documents.
Oh, okay. This is interesting. Pat Mitchell said, why did Dianne Feinstein not show the letter that someone gave her about rape allegations against Brett Kavanaugh? I don't know anything about that. Have you heard anything?
I haven't heard anything about it. I don't know.
And she's dead now, so we can't really comment. I'll try to look it up. I'll look it up for later.
Yeah, me too. I don't know exactly, but I don't think she didn't believe it. Maybe she just wondered if there was enough evidence there or something. That's what I'm picking.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. This is Amy J says, blessings to you and Linda. Thank you. Could I ask about Three Blind Mice? I love it. Roger Stone, Steve Bannon, any fallout for them in these indictments?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
They're all in trouble.
If I may, will any new laws be passed about truth and transparency with mainstream media? Well, I think what will happen, like a lot of times on certain networks, they call it news, but it's really op-ed, opinion editorials. So they'll say this is an opinion editorial and it's not news, right?
Right.
I see a lot more lawsuits for liability. And if anything, that will help curb.
I see Alex Jones. I don't know why he's been getting by without paying those families, but I see him getting hit hard.
Oh, he will have to. He will clearly have to.
Okay.
So I see a lot more civil liability that these supposed news outlets are going to have to face if they lie.
Okay. So we'll do one more question and then I need to stop.
Okay.
Sitting up for over an hour sometimes makes me.
Yeah, it gets, yes, how my voice was in the beginning, it was hard.
Yeah, yeah. So okay, let's get a good one. Oh yeah, this is a good one. T. Lynn. MTG's amendment to reduce Lloyd Austin's annual salary to $1 passed. Boebert proposed the same for the Deputy Secretary of Food and Nutrition. What will happen with these attempts, and will there be a future regulation preventing these extremists from this reckless behavior? Why don't these people know that what's good for the goose is good for... What would stop the Democrats from saying, oh, well, now we pay anybody in the House, a Democrat, $1 or Republican $1?
Here's what I heard. It won't work. And the same thing can happen to them. I see legislation being passed to prevent that from happening.
Okay, good, good.
That's what I see.
Well, thank you, you guys. Thank you so much.
Can I just
see you next Monday?
Could I touch on one thing really, really fast?
Sure.
Somebody made a comment to me that everybody in the community, that I am the most scattered, and why do we even bother? Why do I even bother to take questions because we don't answer them? Well, number one, we do answer questions, and we do it to help allay the fears and to help the community. I don't mind getting a comment if it's positive or if it's a positive suggestion, but that comment was just mean-spirited. I have ADD and I do tend to skip around, and sometimes you got to reel me in, and everybody knows that. So I think this person was being insensitive and rude about those of us who have ADD. And if you don't like, that I'm scattered, don't watch. It's that simple. And normally I wouldn't even give this any energy, but I felt like I just had to say something about it.
There you go. Good.
So to that person, I have these words: bless your heart.
Bless your heart.
Right.
Yeah. I've always, unfortunately, I don't look at my comments very much.
It just popped up this morning.
Daniel will go through them and make sure anybody that's rude doesn't get on there. So
he does mine too, but it just popped up, and it pops up on my iPhone, and I happen to see it.
And you see it, yeah, gosh darn it.
And then I was going to write this long response, and I thought, no, I'm just going to mention it. I know I've got ADD. I get it.
Yeah.
And I can't take the medication because it makes
when I first started, I had somebody write, why do you talk about your personal life? Just get to the questions. Oh, well, start your own show and do it the way you want. This is the way I do it.
I mean, we answer these questions as a community service, to our community. And so, that's how I look at it.
That's exactly.
I think this was the same person when I was asking about AI, but I read it as AL, meaning artificial intelligence. And it was same person that said, well, you're probably taking too many painkillers since your surgery, or you had a senior moment. Well, number one, I haven't had any painkillers since.
But look at that. Look at that comment. That's just a person just going out to be mean.
Correct. Exactly.
There are some people that I guess are bored in their own life and they think that they can talk down to you. Because I don't let anybody wipe their boots off on me. I will block them. They will be blocked. So don't wipe your boots off on me. And by the way, you guys, on YouTube, on the comments, somebody got in again and is acting like they're me and want you to call a number. Do not call the number. I do not do readings, paid readings anymore. So if anybody asks you to call and I'm going to give you a reading, is lying.
I better check mine, because I'll tell Dan, because yeah, that happens a lot.
I know it's unfortunate, but fortunately, most of the people, I even posted one, this guy says, oh, you're a scam. And everybody knows it. The person who was supposed to be me said, F you.
You know what I do? I call the number and I pretend like I want a session. And then they
don't charge your phone $1 million?
I call it from the landline at work.
Oh, okay.
And then what I do is I'm like, oh, okay. Well, this is that person. And you're busted. And then they swear at me. And then I tell them they're thieves.
I don't bother with it.
So Linda, I'm like you. I mean, I try to be nice and I try to be easygoing, but nobody's going to wipe their boots on me. It's not going to happen.
Wow. Nobody.
I mean,
all right, you guys. Love you all.
I don't mind positive remarks. So I love that. Or positive suggestions.
There you go. Yeah.
Linda, you are living proof, as well as I am, that prayers and healing energy really work. I mean, your recovery is absolutely amazing.
It's been fantastic. Except I'm noticing I can't sit up for over an hour.
All right, sweetie. Let's go. I'm going to go. Love you very much.
Love you. Cheers, you guys.
So I'm glad you're well.